talk. So apparently the Lions' schedule looked very, very vicious. And it don't look as vicious right now. And you had Chiefs start off 0-2. And they having some struggles without Rashid Rice. He will miss the game versus the Lions unless they amend his or shorten his suspension. Okay, so that's that. And Travis Kelce. I mean, people blaming Taylor Swift and all that type of stuff. And yeah, I mean, Golf just got married and had a baby. He balling. But I think it's a lot more distractions when you come with somebody like Taylor Swift. But he's about 35, 36. This shit was coming to the end anyway. So I think he's doing it the right way, to be honest. I feel like athletes should get married after they retire. So many women walk away from them when they retire. Tim Duncan, I think he's doing it the right way. So right now, I mean, you seeing, them fall apart. And, losing Tyreek Hill hurt, not really being able to replace him with a burner, not having a replacement for Travis Kelce. And then Andy Reid has always been known for not really caring about running the ball. You think about it in Philly. Really, when you look at what Donovan McNabb did in Philly, it really need to be studied. I mean, that before T.O. got there, he was throwing the motherfucking, wasn't like Chad Hall or like Olympic skier. James Thrash, Pinkerton, Freddie Mitchell, the people that L.J. Scott, that motherfucker was throwing to some trash. And the only what they did have was a Deuce Staley, and then they had the brother, damn, man, I don't want to. Brian Westbrook, the running back, he was more like a scat back. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, Jim Johnson had hella fire defenses and shit, but yeah, Andy Reid ain't really never been known for running that rock. That's a fact. He never want to run the rock. That's why he never won. He just had the exception in talent with Patrick Mahomes. That motherfucker hated running the ball. That's a fact. But you got Joe Burrow go down to a toe injury. They was getting off to a better start. It really wasn't a great start, but they was 2-0. So we know how dangerous they get down the stretch. They played some preseason, and there was a lot to talk about Shamar Moore touching them in camp and him holding out, him bumping him, and nothing he could have done. But Burrow is just a China down. He on an Andrew Luck trajectory. Is he not, lifting weights? I see a lot of these guys, like, let's talk about Marcus Davenport for a minute. They don't come back the next season with no fucking muscle on them. Like, come on. They come back same looking at, like, why don't you get in the gym and lift some and put some muscle on so he can be more sturdy, especially for Joe Burrow lower body. I be looking at these guys, man. I'm like, these motherfuckers don't even lift for real. You can tell they don't really lift to do shit for real. You can't lift like no motherfucking basketball player. You a football player. But and then Washington, which I feel like the Lions still should have beat them had they ran the ball last year. They don't look too hot. Terry McLaurin is sputtering because he wasn't at camp, look a little heavy. Debo Samuels, he ain't got on connect with Jaden Daniels. And then you look at what's the Cliff Kingsbury. That's another motherfucker that don't want to run the football. He just don't want to run the football. They refuse to go out there and get a real run. And the one true running back they have, Brian Robinson, they traded him. And last year, top rusher was Jaden Daniels. He ain't the biggest guy. So you would think they'll try to beef up the interior offensive line, get tougher, and hand the ball off, seeing what the Eagles did, seeing what the Lions did, seeing what the Packers did with Josh Jacobs. You'd think Kansas City, like, oh, it's time to do that. You'd think Washington was like, it's time to do that. Even Cincinnati went out there and found Chase Brown from Illinois. So, even the Eagles, right now, their passing game don't look too hot. But like I continue to say about the Lions, even about the Packers, Chiefs, a lot of these offenses, they always behind the defense. You got to remember that. It takes time. Last year, it took about 4-5 weeks for the Lions to hit their stride. You know what I'm saying? So right now, teams like Lamar or Baltimore and Buffalo, they steam and beaming right now because it's the same shit. The quarterback is the offense. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. But when you go out there timing like Joe Burrow, timing like Jared Goff, timing like Jordan Love, you got to make sure you got new receivers here, new offensive coordinator here, new installs here, new. It's different. It takes time. It takes time. But I believe Kansas City is going to be okay. They're gonna figure it out. But it ain't helping that Chris Jones keep fucking up. Blue, jumped inside versus the Chargers when he should have kept his gap integrity. Kept the outside. And then he chirping to Jalen Hurts. Talking about, yo, you ain't even at 100 yards. Jalen Hurts like, man, we won the fucking game. And Chris Jones is like not, coming up as a crybaby. It's funny how kind of can't blame owners for not paying much. It's funny how some of these guys get the bag and, it's just they get lax. Knowing that their deals ain't guaranteed. But schedule on, and I say you can't never really call it. You can't never really call it, man, because NFL is different. Guys get money and stop trying. Guys get injured and fall off. Guys get up for paydays and they had the best year of their career. So, it is. I mean, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But it doesn't look as treacherous. But if the Lions somehow, some miracle, some way can upset the Baltimore Ravens on Monday Night Football, they may be able to get through their toughest stretch of football. And really, what lies there, Tampa looked pretty good and Green Bay looked fantastic. But they may be able to get through a tough stretch and really start, really cutting their teeth and get into their schemes. But, we'll see. We'll see. So let me know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And subscribe button is the bell icon button. Check out the Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Hit the link tree. Find me on X, Facebook, Instagram, the whole nine. Everything inside the link tree is the first link in the description. Appreciate the love, support. Let me know what you girls and guys think in the comment section. Peace.